4 adolescenti angosciati alle prese con le prime esperienze da adulti e le inquietudini della loro età. Palo Alto, l'esordio al cinema di Gia Coppola, è tratto dall'omonimo romanzo di James Franco, qui anche produttore e attore.
I had written this book, and because I have been in the film business for 17 years, I, of course, thought about adapting it into a movie, but I knew pretty early on that I didn't want to adapt it myself, that if I did that, it would just be one more iteration of what I'd already done. And I liked the idea that I could give it to somebody else, and that it would be, you know, transformed or somehow filtered through someone else's vision. Gia had the right spirit, that we were in sync aesthetically, and that she was doing stuff with youth and really bringing out the spirit of youth in a way that kind of transcended, you know, teen genre stuff. And I thought that was perfect, and that was exactly what I was trying to do with the book. So I contacted her, and I said, I think I said, this might be crazy, but I think you should direct the movie version of this book. And she read it, and she said she was interested. And then it took a little while. It took a couple of years, I guess, but she put it together. And I had faith. You know, she hadn't done a feature, but I had faith that she was the right person, and she would, you know, be able to do it. And I think I was right.
It just was sort of a nostalgia for being young, I think, and in that process of making it, it came off that way. And I love movies about teenagers, and I just felt like there hadn't been one that I really liked in a while, so that wasn't just sort of a goofy one. It really represented what it felt like to be a teenager. My experience as being a teenager, the dialogue was spot on, and it was just great.
Yeah, it was amazing working with Jackie and Gia about the yearning for innocence. I think that, I mean, for me at least, I didn't really realize that that was the direction that it was going until I saw the way that it was edited, and there's a really like tense feeling, and instead of feeling bad for these teenagers that are doing drugs and having sex, you feel for them. I think that Gia wrote characters that have extreme depth, and they're just not shallow characters. You really care about them individually, and you're rooting for them. And yeah, you want them to get their lives together because of the way Gia wrote.
One of the reasons I was inspired to write about people in this, you know, period of life is it's a transition period, and you know, it's kind of a tradition now. You know, it's what J.D. Salinger was writing about in Catcher in the Rye. It's the point where, you know, innocence comes up against experience, and you start, you know, entering the bigger adult world, and a lot of things are new, and you start really defining yourself in adult ways, and it can be dangerous and scary and exciting and sad and, you know, everything. And so I think, you know, that's why you know, a lot of my favorite artists turn to this period of life for their work. So Gus Van Sant, Harmony Korine, Larry Clark, they're all, you know, very interested in this period of life because it's such a vital time, and so much happens, and you can, as a creator, get so much from your characters and your work because the subject is so vital, and it always will be, as long as, you know, as we're human and we grow. You know, this will always be a vital period to examine. With this character, you know, the character I play, there were people like that around, and, you know, when I was growing up, and I've, you know, now that I'm an adult and have met many people, I've heard, you know, after writing the story about that coach, many people have come to me and told me similar stories, or, you know, that they knew of things like that happening. And so I guess it's just I don't know. I guess I was just writing about something that I had known about and just tried to make it kind of as real as possible. But also, I think one of the things that Gia really gets across in the film is that it's especially scary because the lines are so blurred. You can, so easily kind of fall into the situation because he doesn't seem like a bad guy, and maybe even in his head he doesn't, he kind of justifies his actions and because he's not I didn't want to play him like a villain or anything like that, and it makes it that much more scary because you can see how easy it would be to just slip into a situation like this. And so, that's kind of, I guess, how it came about and why I wanted it in there. But.